Good morning from China, where, as you'll know if you watched yesterday's video, I have been unexpectedly stranded in Guangzhou. The old name of that was Canton. It was the Portuguese trading post. We're on the Chinese mainland, not far from Hong Kong here, and I have very, very fond memories of Hong Kong from when I was a child. I used to go a lot to stay with my friend there, and my main memories are of dim sum. I think often my main memories in life are of food. So, as they say, if life throws lemons at you, make lemonade. The way I see it, if life throws an expected one-day mini break in Guangzhou at you, don't eat dim sum. So I'm going to get up quickly and let's try and find a way into town. I'm having a quick breakfast in my room before I go. There was jasmine green tea and I have a sakura dorayaki. That's a type of pancake filled with cherry blossom cream, which I brought with me from Japan yesterday. So I have everything I need. I tried to raid the minibar to see what else there would be there, but they've locked it. I think it's because this airport hotel is just being bought by the airline because of a delayed flight. I'm not allowed all of the facilities. They've completely locked the minibar, which seems harsh. But who needs a minibar when you've got a cherry blossom pancake? My main concern is that all of my luggage was sent straight through to Paris, which means that I have no change of clothes. Luckily, I had most of my makeup with me, but not my foundation. So I probably look a little bit different from usual. And last night I decided that I couldn't bear the thought of wearing my underwear 2 days in a row. So I've washed it all in the sink. It is still wet, so I'm starting the day blow drying my underwear. I've just finished drying my tights, but then I looked up the weather and apparently it is 26 degrees outside, so I think we're not going to be needing those. It is, however, raining, so I'm in two minds. I could either brave the weather, which I tend not to mind that much, or I can take the umbrella that I bought for Philip yesterday in Japan and hope that I don't lose it. But honestly, I'm amazed I've managed to bring it this far with me. Umbrellas are basically disposable for me. They're single use. I never ever remember to pick them up. I don't know what to do. Yep, pretty miserable day out there. But I have decided not to take the umbrella. I would lose it. It'd be such a shame. I've got it this far. I have to say, I've been really impressed with China Southern. All of the ground staff were really calm and helpful and got everybody settled really quickly. It was actually not a bad experience. Except for them locking that minibar. Lovely, David. Thank you so much. Hello. I have arrived. My taxi driver was really lovely. That was a 1 hour taxi and it cost 20 euros. So that was amazing. I can't believe I'm here. I think the last time I was in Hong Kong, I was about 20, but most of my memories are from before when it was still British. From the ages of 12 to 15, 16, I used to go every year. And although I've never been in China, this feels very, very familiar. I found the restaurant, so I'm going to see if I can be lucky without a reservation. I chose one of the biggest dim sum restaurants in the hope that it'd be easier to get in. And also because it said that it was in a most amazing building, which it is. It's like an old mansion. It's absolutely beautiful. Unfortunately, apparently it's closed at the moment, but we do at least get to see the beautiful garden. The size of those koi carp in the water. So that's a real shame, but I'm going to try and find somewhere else. How hard can it be to find food somewhere in China? Well, I found a pastry shop with dessert cake. I don't know any more than that because everything says dessert cake and everything else is written in Mandarin or Cantonese. And that's the one major difference between here and Hong Kong is, of course, back in those days, probably still now, is that there everything was also in English. And I'm a little bit hampered without internet because I had Wi-Fi at the hotel, but I have absolutely no internet here. I do have a little card at the hotel, so I know if I find a taxi, I can get back to the airport. I just need to show the card. I've made sure that I've got cash on me so I can cover the fare. Beyond that, it is actually like being 15 again in the days before any internet. So I'm going to wander around, maybe see if I can find a SIM card. Can't see anywhere to get a SIM, so I wandered into a little clothes shop because the thought of not wearing the same dress for the third day in a row is pretty tempting. They're quite lovely. They're sort of in the style of 1930s tea dresses and they're about 15 euros each. Is it weird that I like this? I feel as though I've gone back in time. Maybe I've just arrived in the 40s out in China. Sort of love it, actually. I'm going to try the others on. This one is a great colour, but I think a little tight. I mean, you can see the sort of zip pulling away there. Pretty, really pretty colour. This one's so sweet as well, with the little ruffles. And it's a very, very pretty colour. I'm not sure the colour suits me that much, but it's very pretty. This one is so sweet, and I think this would probably be Philip's favourite because I was going to say it's quite autumnal, but actually it's berries. There's all sorts of little pretty berries on it. This would be perfect for Lalande, maybe worn with a belt. We definitely have another tea dress situation here. I mean, if only I could find somewhere to actually have my brunch of dim sum and tea, this would be the perfect dress for it. I like this one. It's simple, nice, comfortable. And when you look closer, the polka dots are almost like little eyes. I don't know what to go for. Okay, you might all think I'm going mad, but I think I'm going full granny chic. I quite like this together. It's got a real Gucci-esque air. And this has got the same light, uncreasable feel as the dress that I was wearing on the way here. So, yeah, I think it's going to be this one. And definitely the one with the little berries all over it too. That woman was absolutely lovely. We did not understand a single thing that the other said, but we got there with basically just pointing, gesticulating and miming quite a lot. Well, I have 2 dresses and a cardigan. Most importantly, I am delighted to change out of my travel dress. It's a shame about the restaurant. I'm just walking along next to the garden and you can see it must be beautiful in there. And look at that roof as well. It's quite incongruous to see that next to a flyover. I've come back into the restaurant and asked what time they open. I mean, I wasn't even sure if they were shut for the day or not. There's someone here. And again, with a series of mimes, I think I've understood that it opens in half an hour. I think. So I'm going to sit here and see. As I'm waiting, I'm looking at these absolutely beautiful carvings. And each one is different. This is all birds and flowers. And here the birds are almost amongst some reeds. And there are lots and lots of grapes. There are so many of them. Oh, look at this lobster over on the left. I didn't see that coming. The doors have opened. And this was worth the wait. I cannot believe where I am. That we're in the middle of this huge city. This is the most beautiful place. My goodness, Davey, doesn't it give some ideas for the garden? I'm so happy that I came here. Between you and me, I've no idea whether the restaurant is going to open or if it was just the doors that were opening now. Who knows? But I'm perfectly happy to sit and find out. It is such a treat because I wasn't expecting to see any of China on this trip. I just chose this airline because it was the best deal I could find to get to Japan. The delayed plane feels like such a treat now. I can't get over it. I think we can walk through the garden a bit. It's raining, but never mind that. Oh, I'm in heaven. Well, this has turned into quite the Asian adventure. Have I misunderstood completely? Is there even a restaurant here? Not a clue. Let's go for an explore anyway. Look at this pool. This is magical. It is beyond my wildest expectations. My father loved koi park, so standing here, seeing beautiful fish, and thinking how happy he would be to be here with me. I'm quite speechless. 1 minute I'm wondering what to do because of a missed flight. The next, I'm standing in heaven. So if you ever find yourself in a country you've never been to before where you can't read the writing and you don't speak the language and you're alone at the airport hotel, maybe venture out, have an adventure. The thing to remember is that most people on this planet are kind and helpful. And if you remember that, things don't seem so scary. Aha! That's the first signs I've seen that this may in fact be a restaurant. Oh, I do hope so. Because the only thing that could make this more perfect right now would be some dim sum. Well, there's no signs of anyone eating yet, but I remain hopeful. When I was in Japan and I saw those wonderful Zen gardens, the simplicity of everything and the importance of the placement of each individual rock with just 1 or 2 trees near them, I felt that that was perfection. But now, looking at this lush vegetation, the little paths carved through it, the arches, and the rich patches of bamboo growing, I can't imagine anything more enchanting than this. Isn't it extraordinary how every country in the world is captivating in a totally different way? At a time like this, standing here in the rain, I can see why people wear those hats. And I really wish I were wearing one too. If you think about it, it's a lot more convenient than lugging an umbrella around all day. Again, there's this really incongruous view where you look up from this courtyard and there's evidence of the modern world in the background. It is a restaurant and I have made it inside. Sadly, it seems they're not serving dim sum today. That would have been easier because they just come around with trolleys of things. But they have already poured tea for me without me asking. And they have very kindly given me an English menu because I was pretty terrified on looking at this one because these are quite high prices, if that is indeed the price. That would be over 400 euros, for example. The cheapest one was about 300 euros, and I don't actually know if they are the prices. This menu looked much more reasonable, but China is really the one place in the world where I don't want to just point to something and eat it without knowing what it is in advance. So imagine my relief when they saw my confusion and came over with this, which has both prices and pictures. Already, I know I don't want that one. Or for that matter, the baked chicken with salt. I know it's totally hypocritical, but I definitely prefer my food to be looking less as it did when it was alive. I'm not going to go for an entire suckling pig. They have the most beautifully presented sashimi, but having just been in Japan, it would be really silly to order something that I could have had there. This one has got maybe the best name so far. It is the smell of burning general mobilization. And I am not making that up. No smells of burning general mobilization from me. Oh dear, poor goose. Sometimes I find that neither the name nor the picture help. This is called braised flour glue with coconut emperor. That's just a random sequence of words taken from the dictionary. I mean, what is a milk emperor fried pile baby? I'm going to be honest, the photo's not helping much. This one has my favorite name so far. Buddha leaps over the wall in golden soup. And as I've always said, if you're going to leap over a wall, do it in golden soup. Swan and durian crisp, how delightful. This section seems to be a bit safer. Stirred fried beef, okay, I can understand this. This all looks more familiar. But I want to try things I couldn't try anywhere else. Well, I've just dashed the loo, and that is the biggest difference between Japan and China so far. And that's in some quite glitzy loos. The most bewildering thing about this meal is the synchronized swimming that's going on the world's biggest screen. And I really do mean the world's biggest screen in the background. I'm loving this teapot. I've been happily sitting here reading my book. I'd almost forgotten all about the food, and the first course has just arrived, and it is extraordinarily beautiful. It is passion fruit taste shrimp, and a lot bigger than I was expecting. Look at that. I didn't even know that passion fruit shrimp was a thing. Let's give it a try. This is so delicious. It has made me instantly miss Philip, because honestly, Philip, This might be your favourite food. My eggplant pot with fish fragrance has just arrived. Only one more thing to come now. I've just tried the eggplant and it's mind-blowing. It's so much more than I thought was coming. The portions are huge. They're obviously made for banquets of several people around these tables. I'm so glad I ordered it, even if I can only eat a fraction of it. It's mind-blowing. I've drunk gallons of tea during the meal because they just keep refilling the pot without me asking. It's very civilized. The third and thankfully final dish has arrived because they are massive. And this one is truffle rice. Let's see if we can investigate. Oh, that is black truffle inside the rice. The rice is incredible. Fragrant and sticky and rich. I thought they'd be small portions. The rice and the aubergine together came to £10, and then the shrimp were more expensive. They were £15. But still, I can't believe just how much there is, especially the shrimp. These were so sweet and tangy and juicy that I feel I've had a delicious dessert at the end of the meal as well. So good. That was the most delicious meal. It was €30 in the end, and that's actually quite a lot for a lunch by yourself, but it wasn't a lot for the experience that I have just had and the incredible flavours. It was mind-blowing. If I can find a taxi, I will get back to the hotel and this will all have gone very smoothly. Try and find a taxi in the rain. I walked out and there was a taxi instantly. Today's going very well. Actually, I feel better. I just said that. I feel I'm going to jinx something. There'll be another problem with the flight. Today's gone very well so far. We're just crossing the Pearl River now. This is the third largest river in China. It's the jewel of this city. I've made it back to the hotel, so now I just need to get my carry-on bag that I left here, and I can get the little shuttle bus back to the airport, and it'll be take 2 for trying to get home. This is it. I'm finally about to board the plane. Thank you for joining me on my stranded day in China. I hope you enjoyed it. I had a fantastic time, but now finally I get to go home and see Philip and Lancelot and all the others too. So whilst I'm having a very long flight ahead of me, I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you at demain.